Welcome to the Polishing Profits Podcast, where we discuss all things related to the business of detailing. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is for you. In each episode, we'll cover topics ranging from business management to marketing solutions. Here to help you grow your detailing business, your hosts, Nick and Dustin.
Woo! Let's go.
Let's do it.
And Mike Carlin. Yeah.
Who's
And
that
Mike
guy?
Carlin. Yeah, we don't know. When I went live on my page a while ago inviting people over, I was like, big surprise. Mike Carlin's going to be on the show today.
You know what's crazy is I sit here underneath both of you guys. You've got like a blue hue in yours, and yours is so green. You guys got this blue and green thing going really well.
Oh, you noticed my hue, huh? I'm just radiating blue today. No, man. Chris and Dylan have been working hard to kind of revamp our set a little bit here. Hats off to these guys for freshening it up. If they could just do a little bit with the ugliness here, freshen it up, though, that would work.
You got to get
you're just stuck looking at it. Yeah. Oh, man, it's all good here. Nick, what kind of show we got on deck today? I'll throw that one to you.
Yeah, throw me right under the bus. You know what? It's Friday. It's been a week. And, it's been a slow week. I'm going to be honest. It's been raining over here. Haven't been doing a whole heck of a lot. So I just figured, you know what? Let's just jump on the podcast and have a good conversation and see what – and you know what? Bring in Mike to help sort of fuel the show with some energy and excitement.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't either. Yeah, we need Mike to put some energy in the show. You know, you mentioned slow, and that's a whole topic in itself. Because things are moving a little bit in our industry, and I think that we mentioned it numerous times, being nimble enough to adjust and adapt, and that's real. We've noticed a little bit of a sluggishness in the sales side of things. We noticed a little bit of sluggishness in the scheduling. And so, we got to, I think it's a time where everybody kind of digs in a little deep and make sure that you're dotting I's and crossing T's in your packaging and your sales process and things like that, because things have shifted a little bit. It's not as easy as sales as it used to be.
So we dove into that 3-letter word, CRM, pretty heavily. It's been slow this month. Trying to get that process down. You know what I mean? It's a roller coaster. So when you've got this time, making sure that you're sort of jumping into some stuff that is going to be beneficial long term, I think is really, the only way to go about it. And it's easier said than done, because you're like, it's slow. You've got payroll. You've got this. You've got all this other stuff going on. I don't really want to be jumping into something that's going to cost X amount of dollars a month when you're like, hey, we're already behind the 8 ball here.
Right.
That's sort of where we're at. What are your thoughts on anything else when you're slow, sort of jumping? What are those projects that when you are slow, you want to jump into?
Yeah. So immediately we start thinking retention campaign, because it's an easier sell to existing customers than it is to new customers. When they've done business with you, they know how you do business. They know your packaging, pricing. They understand the quality. So we start to look within instead of searching for new. We start to spend more efforts within. So retention, deeper retention that goes on, mass communication. When we start thinking about filling a schedule up, we're texting and emailing everyone. And it's not, hey, we're slow. That message never goes out. If the shop's slow, that message is never we're slow. It's we've had a cancellation. We have an opening that we're trying to fill. And it builds that. But we're never saying like, hey, things are, slow around here or anything like that. We're absolutely just kind of, letting people know that we have some availability. Maybe usually in this unexpected availability.
And look,
you go.
Hit it right on the nail.
Billy Smith mentioning contacting customers who already done business with. Absolutely. I mean, that's it. That's it. You've already sold that customer. You've already marketed that customer. Dividing that, customer acquisition in half. Every time that customer brings you another vehicle, does another job with you, you have just cut the cost of acquisition in half.
That's right.
Every time. So you're driving that number down. Mike, what do you guys do? I mean, in your shop specific.
Yeah. And, I think some of it is, I come from a manufacturing side, so I always call it the rainy day fund. And unfortunately, that a lot of the detail shops don't have that, but it's kind of in my it's ingrained in me. So it's a perfect time for training. It's a perfect time for organization. It's a perfect time for reaching out to customers. Maybe you're trying to off-season type stuff. So we have implement dealerships around here that in the winter time, they don't sell a lot of tractors, but they need to be cleaned. So we just kind of pivot in that direction at that point. But I also think it's a great time for the training side of things. Unfortunately, people don't plan in the busy time to put some money away that, hey, this December, we're going to go get trained by Rupiz or by IGL or by whoever. And then like your CRMs too, you know, I mean, you don't, that's the time that you're going to make, if you have that rainy day fund, hey, I have that extra fund set aside so I can take the time to be able to do this stuff. But unfortunately, too many people are chasing money.
Well, yeah, that's just it. Things get shelved, you know, like, okay, yeah, I know I need to do this thing. I know I need to, you know, go to this training, add this service, add this software, communicate better to my customers. But I am literally vacuuming the carpet right now. Like, when do I do it? And so here's the beauty of business ownership. And I think that Nick and I differ pretty substantially, and what I'm
on
going to
everything
say is
pretty much the whole thing.
We pretty much hate each other. We just come together for this, and no, but you know, ours is, you know, to me, business ownership's not 9 to 5. You don't stop when you stop, you know, when the vacuum turns off, or when you unplug the polisher. That's when it gets started, and that's what separates business ownership from employment. And you know, that's the time where you have to spend in that. And Nick sets time. How do you handle that, Nick? I know we talk about work-life balance, and I have zero. You have great, you know, work-life balance.
Yeah, of course, that's stated, easier said than done, right?
Sure.
It's just a matter of saying, hey, turning it off for family. You know what I mean? And saying, hey, once that time comes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not there checking the phone or working on projects. Once I'm home, I'm there with the kids and with the family. And then it goes from family time to my time. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, hey, at 9 o'clock, I'm going to go to the gym, and that's set in stone. But that doesn't mean that during the day, that's when you're going to make the most efficient use of your time. So if it's a slow day, right? Yesterday, I looked up 13 different classes because we want to start doing tint. I want to plant that seed now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But there isn't anything to vacuum. You know what I mean? There's nothing vacuum.
But there's no French fries under seeds.
There's no French fries yesterday. So it's like, hey, we're going to go and plan and put these different seeds planted so that we can, you know, long-term have a goal there. So it's just really maximizing that 9 to 5 time. So there isn't that downtime. There usually isn't food involved. There usually isn't, you know what I mean? Like, it's just from there to there, we're working. And then after that, it's an off switch.
It's prioritizing it. Yeah. It's saying, this is a thing that I know I need to do. Yeah. And it's just as or more important than the next job that I'm going to take. It's going to create the next job, and it's going to help gain the next job. So putting that as a priority, just like you would another coating rolling in the door. Yes, a coating does pay the bills, but you're not going to, that's the access to the next coating. And so it's a necessary evil in a sense that that's part of the business. And, you know, prioritizing that, whether you do it after hours or whether you use that in the time that the slow time that we're talking about, whether no matter when you do it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is pretty jam packed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for everybody here, every day is jam packed. So then you're asking yourself, hey, how are we going to be able to use this time more efficiently? And you know what? There's going to be stuff that doesn't get done today, but it's on the first thing priority for tomorrow because it wasn't done today. You know what I mean? And you play that sort of catch-up game forever.
Well, yeah, and Mike, I want to get your input on that, but here's a conversation that I had with a friend of mine, Derek, and he says, if you do 20 good things, 20 things on your list, and 10 things you didn't get to, you're still net 10 positive at the end of the week. Like, it's not that, okay, I didn't get these 10 done, I got to focus. Like, you're still net 10.
And so, it's also not doing them, you know, rushed. It depends on the project, of course, right? But making sure that you're doing them the right way, you know, whether that is it could be working on a car and saying, hey, I've got 10 of these cars dropped off right now. Are you going to rush through them and get them all done in a day? Probably not.
No.
You would rather, you know, make sure you take the proper time and communicate with the customer and say, hey, you know what, you should really do this as well. You know what I mean? And treat each individual project as their own.
As its own. Yeah, Mike. I mean, juggling task. I look. So I'm, we're in meetings every day with IGL, and we both have task lists that could probably fill up both of our rooms. How do you manage that? How do you set aside time with running a detailing business, having a family? What do you do?
Well, I mean, some of it's just relying on my wife. She's not in here, but but I know she's probably watching.
Just open
I
the
almost
shade.
had a really bad joke.
No, but whether we're talking about our family or our businesses, it is very crucial. And I don't sleep a lot, so I find that my most productive time that
Look at all of us just look so tired.
It's in the mornings. So like I try to do as much as I can in the mornings where people aren't calling me, they're not texting me, they're not doing whatever. That's my time, like realistically. From 8 o'clock on till 8 o'clock at night, usually we're getting somebody's calling, texting, or something about whether it's the detail or the IGL side of things. But even at that, we have to just learn that, you and I, for example, we communicate back and forth like, hey, I'm going to be offline for 2 hours. Yep. I'll take care of your CRM if something happens or whatever. So just having that, whether it's your spouse or it's a worker or a partner, whatever it may be, just being able to trust them, trust them to take care of the business that you normally would do, and just let them do it. So I think that's part of it. Just whether it's with your business, having your if you have a manager, let them do their thing. Don't micromanage them. Let them do it, and just trust them. That's what you put them in there for. If you can't trust them to do it, then he shouldn't be there. So so that's a lot of it, And then of course, there's just a time where I think, and we're probably both bad for this, but I've gotten better. You just need to turn your phone off for 2 hours. And if it's going on a date or taking your daughter somewhere or doing whatever it is, just do it. People can't get mad at us for that type of stuff.
They can.
They can. They will.
They will.
But I mean, if they're going to, then maybe they're not the customer that we need at that point. That's just point blank. I mean, it's
the world we live in. By having this phone on us, you feel obligated for people to have access to you 24 hours a day. 10 years ago, when there wasn't there's a pager or a house phone, and that may be 20 years ago now. I mean, golly, I guess it was. When that access wasn't available, people ran companies just like ours. Okay. And they didn't have people calling them all day, every day. And, if you did, you called a house phone or you called an office line and we took a note and you got to them when you can. Now a text, you feel obligated to instantly respond. And so you're training your customers to know that there's no barrier there. There's no boundaries on when you can text and when you can't. So yeah, I mean, I know that's a different topic, but it's real in all of our lives. I'm sure every detailer here can speak to that, going like, yeah, my customers contact me literally 24/7, and you feel obligated to answer, especially in a slow time.
Yeah. So the best thing that we ever did. So for, I managed a company, large company. I had several hundred employees, and I had all my customers from my shop. So I had the same phone from the time I was like 18 years old up until this last year. I had the same number, same phone. So literally thousands and thousands of people had my phone number. And the best thing I ever did was separated my personal from my shop. And a lot of people still operate that way, where it's one phone, it's going to their phone. And I separated that. And when we leave the shop, when it's 5 o'clock or whatever it is, that shop phone, it comes with us, but we don't answer it. Like, just in case we might want to check it at like 8, 9
Depends who it is.
night.
Right.
We'll check it at 8, 9 o'clock at night, just in case somebody left a message. But we don't deal with it anymore, So separating yourself that way too, so that, because once you train your customer that I'm available 24 hours a day, you're available 24 hours a day.
Nick, how do you handle that shop phone? Like, do you guys have
two different things? Because I think if you're a new business starting out and you're able to provide that service, right, of that 24/7 service, right, questions, whatever it is, you're building that relationship and that trust with the customers. We do that as much as we can. especially on the dog grooming side. We've got that chat, two-way text on our software there.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people do on their website. If something comes through, hey, I got to cancel, or there was an emergency. Oh, I'm going to shoot them a text real quick and let them know, hey, we're there for you. Let us know if you need anything.
Yep.
And you're going to create that level of trust with the customer and that bond that other businesses wouldn't. So it is a differentiator. So think about that in your business and where you're at. Maybe you tell the manager to have that phone on them 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the car wash side, you know what I mean? And the detailing side, we've got a different cell phone, and we do keep, I stopped giving out my number. I give out the shop number. So I think adding that extra cell phone as not necessarily the company line, but as the VIP, like you can text pictures back and forth and they can text random stuff. That response rate won't be 3 seconds, but it might be 6 hours. It'll be one business day, and you'll be able to go back and forth a lot better to communicate. That's all it is. It's the communication of what the customer wants.
That's right. Yeah, for me, that was twofold. Twofold. One story real quick is our office had some business cards printed for the front one day, and it wanted to say Dustin Jackson, owner. And the first thing I noticed was my cell phone at the bottom of it. And I said, do not give these cards out. These cards are for the shredder. Try again. It took me years to get people to, and I still deal with it to this day. People text me, hey, how much for this? How much for that? And I immediately say, hey, give Rob or give Gabby a call over at the sales, over at, at the office. And even if I'm sitting in there, even if I'm sitting beside there, I still forward that call over to them. So that way the customer gets used to interacting with them. Yeah. And then second, here's one of the best things that we did for sales is a CRM, because we can have multiple people monitor inbound. And you can see previous conversations. So if we're forwarding office phone to a cell phone, we don't have that conversation, that previous conversation. So the customer, if somebody's working after hours to catch a call, they'd have no context of what the conversation may have been in the past. If they do it through CRM, you can look at the previous text, you can look at the conversations, you can say, I can just fill right into this conversation. Yeah. So that is huge benefit of it when you think about having, other people responding to your customers besides yourself.
And the nice thing about the CRM too, is you can have that line on the same phone. So it's not an extra.
Texted 4 times the show, no response. Nudes don't count, Chris. You want a response? I'll give you one. Hey, we did have a comment a while ago. I can't remember who it was. Scott Barber, I think. And he asked for if we had advice on it. Scott, drop back in there and kind of give us, drop back in and remind me what we were talking about in that moment.
Justin was just on a rant. He couldn't get to it.
Did someone say CRM? Love it. Yes, someone did say CRM. I heard that magic letter 3 words. Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Yeah. I just want to make sure we get a response to.
I think. Do you want a recommendation on the CRM?
Listen. So Detail Bookie as a software works great. We also have another solution that's kind of in a beta test. I mean, we rolled it out. So getting in touch with us, shoot us a message over at Detail Bookie. We can probably help you out in that realm too, as far as mass text, mass emails, things like that. So if you guys are looking to solve those problems in that way, not integrated with Detail Bookie, but there's some solutions there's some solutions out there that we're working with, and we can definitely help you in that realm.
But whenever you're looking at software, whenever you're looking at products, I think it's always good, just get the full landscape. It's been such a nightmare / blessing to go through, and I'll just name a few. Keep, High Level, all these, doing the stuff, Zapster, all these different CRMs that are out there, and going through, seeing the pros and cons with each one. And again, because it's slow, take those 7-day free trials. Go and say, hey, take the Zoom call, try and learn it, try and adapt it to your business, and see what works best for you, whether that's a ceramic coating, whether that's a booking software, whether that's CRM. I think that's the most important thing when you've got that free time to do.
And in this conversation, you need to understand what problem you're trying to solve. And here's another thing. Okay. Everybody's go-to to solve the problem with the last 5 years was just mass text everybody continuously, stay in front of them. Yeah. That shit's getting on everybody's nerves. And now we're getting, that's why the carriers locked it down. So that is no longer the go-to. All right. Mass texting your database continuously is not a great idea when you think about communicating. You need to really understand mass text works, right? Under the right circumstances, and making sure that there's intent behind it and that it's receptive. Sales pitchy stuff, just running it down their throat is not the best way to handle that. Providing value is a great thing to do. Tips and tricks, suggestions, things that you want to get to your phone that's relevant in your world. People don't want to be blown up with salesy text all the time. And so we're all learning how the best way to communicate, because we do want to stay relevant. We want to keep that, top of mind awareness with our customers. Okay. That's CRM talk. We had no idea we were going to do that. I want to talk about what could people be leaving. What could detailers be leaving money on the table? What could they be doing different with their current customer base, with the current business they have now?
Okay.
Mike, you mentioned it pre-show that guys, they're not taking advantage of this. What is it, Mike?
So every week, I always thought, before we bought the company, Joel would always tell me, like, hey, every week there's customers calling. And when I say customers, I'm not talking about installers. I'm talking about retail guys. So your customers that are coming to your shop, getting a ceramic job done by whatever ceramic coating you're using.
Yeah.
And then they want to maintain it. They just paid $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, whatever it is for this service. And now they want to make sure that they can
take care
make
of it.
That thing last. They want to make
Yeah.
it, they want to make it last. So
that's right.
Every single day, at least once or twice, I get a call from a retail guy that says, hey, I got Kenzo. I got this done. I got that done. What do you recommend that I buy? Where do I buy it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's ironic because with us, we give a 30% margin or so on all of our products to the detailer to make money.
Yeah.
They could be selling this aftercare stuff to their customers, and they choose not to. So then they come to us.
Yeah,
it's just money on the table, because you're retaining the relationship with that customer, and two, you're selling them the product, making sure that it lasts. So they're not going to get upset because something's clogged or it's not lasting the way they thought they should. They're maintaining it.
That's right. When educating the customer on how to do those things, and then the products they need it, and then sell it to them. Right.
Yes.
Use that as a revenue stream for your business. Don't be scared that they're going to go start their own detailing business, or that now you're going to miss the $100 maintenance wash. Here's the reality: is $100 maintenance washes. That sounds great until you're doing, enough of them where you're not making money on it, or in that case, $50 maintenance wash, whatever you're charging. Like, when you start to really nail that down, is that your most profitable service? Or can you sell them a $50 travel kit or a $40 travel kit and let them solve their own problem?
Look at that.
You have no labor in that. You're making the money on it and send them on their way. And here's the reality: most people are going to do that once, twice, and then they're coming back to you because
that's right.
And they're paying detailers for a reason. So now you turn that customer back into it. You sell them another travel kit, let them do it a couple more times after you've done the maintenance, and keep rolling.
And Brian just brought up this, the travel pack. And what this is,
what's in
IGL.
there? What's in there, Mike?
So we have.
You got it, Mike? Okay, cool.
We have wash.
Mm-hmm.
We have interior, tire, and the new ones actually have Blizzard in them, but this is an old one I have on my desk. Air, which is an air freshener, window or glass, and dash. I believe the new one has an enhancer in it, and Blizzard. So what that's made for is it's all retail items that a normal customer, retail person could potentially buy, whether it be on IGL coating site or one of our suppliers, detailing, Detail World, or somebody. They could go on there and buy that, even on Amazon. But they could also be buying it from their detailers themselves. So they get this little. That's what we do at our shop. This little kit goes into every single vehicle. They get it. and it's nice because it becomes a shaving bag at some point for the guys, or perfume bag, whatever it may be.
Mike uses it as his perfume bag.
Yeah.
I've seen him travel with it. All his perfumes in there.
You know what? No airline is going to get you on that for a carry-on.
No.
So
we strategically made these bottles so they could travel on airplanes, because that way, if you want to wipe your seat down, do a little protecting while you're on the plane, polish the serving drink. I don't know. Here I am.
But it gets that. It's a reminder always for that customer to come back and get some more product if they need.
Yeah, Billy Smith's dropping in here. His aftercare sales are up very well since it changed the way selling our coating. Absolutely, let people, and they're one-stop shop, right? They don't want to leave there and have to go to O'Reilly's and then call you. Hey, what kind of soap is safe? What kind of what do I need to put on my dash? They want to keep that. They just spent $1,500, $2,000 on a coating, $1,000, whatever it is. They want to maintain that. They want to do the thing. And you know what? And they promised the wife or husband that we pay for this coating. I'm going to take care of it so much better. You know how we all do. And so help them serve, help them do that thing.
Yeah. And that retail side of it, I think, is just, it can be a little intimidating for some detailers to start off in, because again, everything that we've done is service. There's no sales tax. There's no extra paperwork. There's no extra accounting involved. As soon as you do, it's good to have a little bit of a game plan, because I got a crash course in it when we started selling dog treats, dog toys, a bunch of dog stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, this is great because it doesn't cost you anything. It costs you initial investment of whatever the product is. And then you have your markup. And then you're like, okay, every month there's an extra X amount and you're able to track everything. Just make sure that you sort of dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure you've got everything prepped and ready for that.
Don't overstock. We have a very fast shipping turnaround. And same day shipping in most cases, as far as the order place going out, usually it's a couple days and it's at your door. So you don't need to carry $100,000 worth of products in
you can,
unless Mike wants to give a special.
We recommend $100,000. That's our common recommendation, but you don't have to. We do free shipping on anything over $100,000. But really, just having that readily available. Here's what we did is we include them free with our ceramic coatings. It's a line item. You can see the price of it retail and it's marked through. We also inflated our ceramic coating price package to make sure that we are compensated for it. So it's a line item. Here's what you get. We do the same thing with our aftercare kits for boats. We have a 5-gallon bucket that's filled with the products that they need to maintain it. They're full bottle size, whatever that is. I don't know. And then there's QR code on how to use it. And the same thing with the IGL products. There's always QR codes on how to use those products. So, inform your customer, make the sell, extend, those things are upselling and cross-selling at their best.
I think that's a really interesting. I know we're at 27 minutes, but Dustin, when you went and added that to your ceramic coating, right? And you increased what did you increase it by? Just to say
$50.
So let me ask you this. I don't think that lost you any sales, and I don't really feel like it gained you any sales. So what's that middle? So all that happens for everyone listening is that you went and made your margin on that product. And if anything, that it's not even so much the products, which are great, but that conversation after you do the service of talking to the customer and saying, hey, this is your package, right? Your aftercare package.
Yeah.
And this is what's included. And it just shows that you care. I think that's where the most, because again, what percentage would either of you guys say of those customers actually using that at home? Maybe 10%, 20%.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's usually the first time, and then it's back to us. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We have some that come back and refill those products and stuff like that. But you know what? It's added value. And the reality is, how professional does that look? When people talk about ceramic coatings, and the negative thing that's pitched is, well, now you got to maintain it, which you got to maintain your stuff anyway. But we're helping you, facilitate that. We're giving you the products and saying, here's what you use, wash it, wipe everything down. Here you go. Yeah. And we're solving the next problem. We're combating the next objection per se. So like when you have a sales objection, somebody says, well, now I got to, take care of it with special soap. Yeah, well, we're giving you that, and we all know as detailers, if we provide that stuff to them, that's less negative dealings that we have to deal with.
So is there anything else to pivot back to that retail side that you guys really like sort of selling on that retail side to customers? The aftercare makes great sense. You know what I mean? Is there anything else that you guys like to sort of sprinkle in? You know what I mean? I know Dustin's got something there with a nice logo on it, but
I thought you'd never bring that up.
Yeah, you think you're going to leave that out? Look at that.
We have nice new Easy in Detail air fresheners. These guys smell good. Like I haven't had an air freshener in my truck in probably 20 years. Okay. Like I just don't.
But that one's in there.
Is it black ice?
And you know what? No, it's mine's leather. But let me tell you, so funny thing is when I got in my truck this morning, they put it in yesterday. We just got these in. Shout out to Rachel that works for she does all of the ordering. She ordered them for the shop to surprise them. It was really cool. And I think Rob had some dealings with that too. But I put it in my truck just as like, okay, I'll check this thing out. I got in there this morning. I was like, holy shit, it smells good in here. Like it smells really good. Well, then I get to the shop and Chelsea's like, I'm out here having a meeting. She walks out and we get done. She's like, what does that smell in your truck? It smells so good. And I'm like, that's a damn air freshener. That thing smells really good. So
where'd you get it from? Where'd you get it from? Oh, Easy in Detail.
Yeah, I don't know where they ordered them from. Scent South. Yeah, ScentSouth.com. SENTSOUTH. ScentSouth.com. Custom, I think they just uploaded the logo and printed them a couple bucks a piece. Oh, speaking up. Now they're free with your detail. We got tired of seeing the Bebos or the other like car wash, scents in there. So we popped them babies out, put these babies in. We did add
without
to our detail to cover it. Yeah, dude, we don't roll that. You're not gonna roll in my shop that Bebo's air freshener.
Very particular about their smells.
Dude, we are not letting you leave here with a Bebo's air freshener. What are the other ones? Riches. That's our car wash down the street. They're friends of mine. Okay. We're snatching. We cut them off. We don't even
cut them off. Wow.
Cut them in half and we lay it on their dash and we hang Easy in Detail on top. Dude, we don't play games around here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be doing that, but you know what?
You're missing out on a great conversation.
I like the air freshener thing. I'd give them out for free. I'm not gonna purposely put them on. That's like, you know what? When they're there, you might as well change their license plate thing.
We do. Yeah,
okay.
We do.
Yeah. Forget what college they went to. You know what?
Brand Easy in the leather of their seats too. Yeah, Easy in the leather.
So we used to do the vent air fresheners with their logo in them.
Yeah,
and people would just leave them in there even when it didn't have any scent left.
They think it has a little smell left.
So, but they would come in and they'd say, "Hey, I want to buy one of these." So we became like the place to come for air fresheners. For them.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. So. You want to hear a funny story? So we sell these air fresheners, like the molded gel air fresheners.
Okay.
And so we bought them from somewhere where you sold them. They sold like crazy in our store. So Chelsea gets this idea. She's going to make her own, right? Okay. Yeah. And I just got to throw her under the bus here. So she buys the things and all the little beads and the scents, and it's supposed to sit in there for like a day. 2 years later, there's still jugs of beads. The air freshener never got things. I'm like, Chelsea, you should probably do something with these bead things. Like, they have scent by now. These are like lifetime air fresheners at this point. Like, you put those babies in,
those things are going to be so strong.
Yeah, right. My God, what does that smell?
Roll down the windows.
Yeah, so let's see, not to mention the side pocket, but the warranty thank you cards. Make sure you add the business pro. So yeah, I mean, we do here at EZM, we do a pretty elaborate folder with their warranty information, the frequent asked questions, things to do, things not to do, just so we can help educate our customer. Absolutely, Brian. I mean, just information is everything, and when it's added value as well. Like you put the effort in, and a lot of this stuff, like, you don't have to overthink it, right? You could go to AI and say, what are some frequent asked questions for people on a ceramic coating, or buying a ceramic coating, and you'll have 10 questions there. Put that shit, put it in your warranty pack.
Brand it for EZM.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, it's not like this stuff isn't complex, man. This is just stuff that you can do that's pretty easy. So Have to invest in the bomb bars. Oh, the bio bomb bars. Yeah, that's Anthony was telling me about that the other day. Some kind of 60-day air freshener, 2 applications per bar. Here we go. Wow. Let's go. Let's go.
Where do you put that?
I don't know, but it's not going to overrule this guy. We're not doing that mess.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm just kidding. All right, man. Great show. Any final thoughts?
No, I feel like we circled the wagons pretty well today. Yeah, we had a good little Friday chat.
We did.
I do want to mention that we have the first residential class coming up too for IG.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested. Yep. So
very cool.
If anybody wants to learn how to pivot their business and countertops and
it's a cool white space in the detailing / protection.
I mean, think about doing how I mean, like going into a house, you got air conditioning, you got heat, the rain doesn't affect you, weather doesn't affect you. Go in, you coat a refrigerator and some countertops and a glass shower door. Like that's not bad. That's not vacuuming French fries in a 112-degree shop. I don't know about you. That sounds pretty attractive to me.
Where's the class at, Mike?
It's going to be in Roberts, Wisconsin. So the end of September.
Is that by Chicago?
Yeah, I know exactly where that's at, guys. I'm going to paint the picture for you here.
It's about 5 hours.
I'm going to miss that one, Mike. But
but you can fly into Minneapolis. It's only about 45 minutes from Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer my flights to land about 6 hours from where I'm going to be, and then rent a car and have to drive all through the night to get to where I'm going. That's the way I prefer my flights. Isn't that right, Mike?
You're not driving. Every time I see a picture of you, you're sleeping in the passenger seat, Dustin.
That too. I sleep while I drive.
He does.
Oh man. All right, guys. Great show as always. Mike, thanks for joining us. Always a good time having my brother and friend on here, partner as well. Nick for being the co-host and just keeping things rallied in here and keeping us on track,
I try to keep you guys on track. We might even be on Spotify soon, right? We're working on some
man. Not only did I get a beautified set here, we're going worldwide here on Spotify and Apple Play and YouTube and I don't know, Twitter and I don't know where we're going. But yes, you can find us other places. We've heard, we've listened, and we're implementing. We've had people ask us for those platforms. So
because if I tell Dustin, he's not going to do anything, but it's got to come from the people.
It has to come from the people. Listen, that's what keeps these wheels turning around here. So we figured a couple of years in, we'd give this thing a go.
Yeah, we'll give it a go now.
We're about 5 years into the podcast. A couple of years into podcast. We'll get this thing a go.
Can we pull the clips of the first ones? Before it was what was it called before?
It was called Play-by-Play.
Play-by-Play.
Let me tell you something.
Very first episode. Does someone have that first episode?
Yeah. We have it. Play-by-Play lunch edition. And dude, we sat in the middle of our shop. This is how we put a table in the middle of our shop while the guys were going to lunch. It's at least 150 degrees in there. So we had somebody sponsor our lunch. So we had lunch. And so in the middle of our podcast, we had plates of food sit down and
I'm going to go find that video. I don't know where it's at. I'm going to find it.
It's awful, y'all. It's awful.
But look where we are now.
Look how we've evolved. We've got little Dustins provided by Billy Smith. We got products on set. We got shit going on, man. All right, guys. Enjoyed it. Love y'all as always. Great show. See you back next Friday. Let's go.